things first, my name is Kenneth Burt. My company is Ileg Technology Screens. I thought we'd do a really interesting demonstration on gray screens. Now, here we have gray screen paint products here. We have several different versions of certified gray screens here. These are top screens. They're made by Daylight Screens. These are screens that can run anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 for one of these surfaces very easily. And then in the middle, we have our black technology in the middle, which is the whole entire desk, which is using the Ileg Ultimate Apex Gamer Complete. Now, to show you in this demonstration from different shades, because some people saying, well, if I got a darker gray, it should do the same thing as your product. No, the darker gray screen still can't read the contrast level. This is the part that we have this constant ongoing battle when we go to form sites involving gray screens. Whether you be darker, whether you be lighter, you still can't read contrast. You have to understand that. Now, we're not using any high power projector. We're using the Magsonic, which is a 50 lumen projector, 720p, way below any projectors we have in here. So the object is can these three high grade certified, these are high grade certified screens, including the screen paint, make that product in the middle unwatchable, which is the black technology that covers the whole desk. I thought this would be a cool, interesting demonstration. When I pray on these things and I say, Lord, can you give me some new ideas today to test live, to show people how amazing our products are? And he says, you know what, this is what you're going to do today. So we got these screens are 3,000. They can be 2,000 at 100 inches. These are very expensive high-end screens. These are belong to the Daylight screens. This right here, basic screen paint. Every screen paint is designed looks just like this. Basic. It just has it's a black and white mixture, which is most paints on the market now. All right, so let's get first thing some white levels. Let's see if it's possible if these high-grade certifies can make our black technology in the middle become so dark you can't even see it. Let's go check that out. Let's go with 4K Snow Cottage. We have microphones on this side today for this demonstration. So we should bring up there we go. So let's bring it up. I'm going to put that in a loop so that'll play back and forth because this video is kind of short. And let me see, where's my zoom? There we go. So this is where our white levels lay at next to high grade certified screens versus, on a 50 lumen projector. That's literally how high a white level can generate on an Apex Gamer. An Apex Gamer can produce extremely high white levels. When I tell you our stuff is tested, we test our stuff to make sure it works. Now, I'm not going to repeat what I've been saying on camera over and over again. I think I've got it quite clear for some people that are going to court for making some statements about my company by doing false demonstrations on YouTube, false unboxings, and making claims that our products were coming out so dark that they were unwatchable. See you in court soon. Other than that, as you can see, we can do multiple demonstrations on multiple levels showing our products producing very bright levels next to not a gray screen paint, but a high professional certified gray screen. And mind you, our screen is black. This is my whole table. Hold on a minute. All right. Let's go over to, let me see. Starfield screensaver. I can see why that sounds like Garfield. I really can. Now, this is what I express in demonstrations. You can't see a contrast level. I don't care if you make it dark gray. I don't care if you make it ultra gunmetal. Next to a black screen, you can't read a contrast level. Only a black screen can read a 100% black level. This is why we're taking people to court next year, because they've been lying on specification sheets. They've been stating that, hey, look, we read black. You don't read black. You can't even say the word black. What does black mean? It doesn't mean gray. It means black. So if you made that statement on your website, if you made that statement in your specification sheet, you have committed consumer fraud if you've sold this product to multiple customers on that notion that your screen is reading that. We can get you in court on it, because we have an actual black screen. Now, the reason why you didn't worry about this, because other gray screens would have the same flaws you would have. They also, too, couldn't, if you file a lawsuit, they can go right back at you and say, hey, look, you don't pull black either. But the problem you have here, we actually do pull that shade. And because we do pull that neutral color, we have all rights in court to sue you for making that statement, or for basically going in and advertising to the customers or consumers that you have that capability when clearly you don't. So we'll see you in 2026. Because you're right, that's infringing on our technology. It's infringing on our right to say we pull black, and you don't. We're the only ones who have that. Well, actually, other black screens have the capability, but there's a problem with that too. On top of that, you see the demonstration I just did with the white levels? You have to pull that off. You have to actually do those. That's another thing. You have to do those levels. People need to see how high your white level's up. I tested several screens. You did not do well on that test at all. You came up way too dark. Way too dark. And another issue is the black versus black. You have to have those tests completed, because, again, it's a simple question. If I'm going against a company that has a black screen paint, what is the difference between your product and black paint? Where your test? Did you test this product before you sold it? You match any one of those paints, and that's it. You're in trouble. You can start pulling stuff off the shelves, because that means a consumer that could have spent $400 or $500 for your paint could literally do it for like under $20. Same thing with gray screens. Same scenario. If a customer, if you have not done gray versus gray, showing the difference between your product and other gray paints, then that consumer could have literally did that for easier, for much cheaper, which we all saw in demonstrations already. Why that's very important. But getting back to this right here, no, you don't read contrast levels. That's why you got to stop saying that word. We read black. You don't read black. The problem you're going to have at the end of the day is, what shade of gray do you actually read? That's what you're going to have to figure out. And that means that you're going to have to basically remove the product off your website, because it's not true. Let me see where we want to go from here. Blue screen. Let me see. I want the one with no ads. There we go. No ads. As you can see, our blue is much higher than the certified gray screens and the gray screen paint itself. Which means the technology we have sitting here, well, would cost you far less than a screen that would cost you $3,000. Mind, these screens aren't cheap. These are $3,000, $2,000, maybe $4,000 projection screens, depending on also size too. This right here is the Stratos. I think it's a CXT or CTS PX Stratos 1.4. We have another one over here. This is an HD Pro right there. These are expensive screens. They're not cheap. Definitely not cheap screens indeed. Over here, if you get down to. These are not cheap screens. They're very expensive screens. So if we go to their site, which I'm going to give them a call today, and I say, hey, look, does your screen read 100% black? Now, if they say, well, most screens will say, well, you know, it doesn't read 100% black, but the no, stop it. You can't say the projector, because we've done these tests before. The projector, just because you buy a projector, this is what I'm telling you, so it costs the consumer a lot of money. Because the consumer now has to go through this route that the more money I spend on a projector, the better my quality is going to be. See, this is where things start getting expensive. Because they tell you this, that means you go out and spend money for a $3,000, $4,000 machine because it has really high contrast, thinking your contrast level is going to improve. And technically, on the real deal, 100%, it doesn't, because you can't read black. The projector can't help you, and the screen can help you, but it has to be a certain color to do it. Now, if that screen is black, what's the point of going out and spending money for a projector with a high inky contrast? You won't need it, which means that your projectors that we've shown in our demonstrations, I can't say for other people's black products, they do use high-end projectors in theirs, we don't. On our demonstrations, you don't need all that because we don't spend that type of money for projectors to begin with. All right, let's get another color there. Let's go with, just speed this up. I'm going to do slow color changer. Now watch this. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to spin through my menu. I'm going to show you how much you're missing off a gray screen. You see that 100% black we pull up and colors all at the same time? They're not reading any of that. This is why when I go out there and I watch these screens are ambient light rejection technology too. These are the same screens I tell you about, that the high-end screens, the screens that are ambient light rejection technology, and yet if I fire up this place, if I really fire this place up, these screens aren't working. Mind you, we're not even any type of lighting. That's it. This is the only lighting we have. This shows you minimum lighting, minimum lumens, and they can't read. We read in that kind of environment. And mind you, our screen is black. Black screens aren't supposed to have that type of power. They're not supposed to be able to operate in an environment with a projector, especially at 50 lumens. They should be able to read better than me. Easily, because they're lighter than my screen. Easy. Let's go to that slow color changer. Switch over there. And you'll notice that our color is the only one that picks up. So, for people who want to sit there and say, oh, your product's expensive? Yeah. So let me get this straight. This is a $60 paint. That's what it was sold for. These screens wrapped around it, because we did certified testing. These are $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 screens. So that means to tell you that that technology in the middle can produce an image better than a high-grade certified, and also better than any house paint or screen paint you have on the market. Which means the product for this right here costing $500 being the highest mark, and lower, actually under $500, and it could take out $7,000, $3,000, $4,000 screen. It's definitely worth its weight in gold, because I could get far more money for this than all these around here. I can get maybe roughly $5,000 a quart easily for that technology right there. Because you buy that, you can't do this. You buy that, you can't do this. You buy that, you can't do this. You can't buy that, you can't do this. So yeah, I can make $5 a quart. Imagine what a gallon would cost. So when you see us at the end of the day charging the price that we charge, and you want to complain about that price, you consider the fact that you can go out and spend $3,000, $4,000 for a screen extremely easy, or you can go buy one of these cheap products over here that don't do jack at all. They don't even have proper gain. 2.0, they don't have it. So that's why we make sure our prices in the middle right here are affordable, so everybody can afford them. Because we don't want people paying too much money. I had somebody complain on their YouTube channel on why our paints are so expensive. Yeah, we don't test our stuff against gray paints. We do certified, because if we could take out a $7,000 screen, that causes our paint to go up in value. Why would I test against this? You don't even test this stuff. Pointless. Excuse me. Let's go over here and get so. Let me see. I don't see you guys doing any of these tests. I wonder why. Oh, your stuff don't work. That's why. Keep forgetting about that. Your stuff never works. We tested your stuff. That's how we know it don't work. 4K snow screensavers. Bum, 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 bum.
Samsung Galaxy S25. Your Gemini weather district coming right now. Ah, you got crackers. Get Samsung Galaxy S25.
Ta-da! Yeah. We test these things, man. We have to make sure these things can read. I have to have these screens in all kinds of environments. When I basically do these demonstrations, oops, wrong one. We don't want that one. This is why we got to get a wireless mouse in here. Need one here desperately for my setup. This is the reason why when I tell you that when we do these set up these tests for these screens, it's not just for the simple fact of just being a show off on YouTube. I have to be everywhere with this technology. I'm in an office right now. We have people that come in and out of here. We can't have one of these screens failing. I got to be on site. I was at the carrying place. Then I'll walk around the carrying place with a projector set up and get caught in there with my screen not working. With all those people walking around in the environment, this thing doesn't pull up and I'm in a lot of trouble. So if they don't work, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. Over at their smoke lounge, they tested me when they had me put that 150 inch to a window because he wanted to see if I was legit. And it went through the window. So your stuff has to work because people will test your stuff. The first day I came here, the first question that popped up, hey, what's the difference between your product and everyday black paint? That comes up almost every single day. Every form site. This is why we don't see them on form sites. You know why? Form sites are challenging. People will ask you from the door. These aren't people that you can talk to and get over on them because they don't know much about projection. People on form sites know a lot about projection. Those people will come in and challenge you. They'll ask you all types of questions. They don't want to be in there. They don't even want to face me, none of them on a form site. So that's the reason why you don't see certain gray screen paint makers in there. Because again, on top of that, you got a ton of other gray screen paint makers in there also, and they're also going to ask some questions. So you won't see them in there. So all you people who went out and bought those great products, I'm not saying these guys at the end of the day, they don't do what they're supposed to do. They don't pick up contrast. They don't do that. They don't nothing. They'll pick up the contrast and see. But these guys right here, that guy who made this stuff, that particular person, Crow 1176, Jamie Fernando Gonzalez, this guy, you got ripped off. That was house paint he sold you at the end of the day. We told you guys that was house paint you were buying. What better way to prove that? We shipped him up his own paint using his own tutorial demonstration. Gave everybody the tracking number so everybody got it. He sent it back. He ripped a whole bunch of people off. He even ripped off that church and that school and some other places. Guy on top of the roof deck ripped him off. Yeah, you got ripped off. You got house paint. Now these companies right here, the only thing they fall short of is the fact they're saying they pull black. They don't read black at all, period. That's why they're darker. See the darker colors they have here? The darker gray. This is a darker gray screen. It's designed to pick up a better contrast than this screen right here. But the problem you have here is that it still can't read contrast regardless. It may pick up a little better than this, but it doesn't read contrast. And these screens are being used to be used in dark environments. They're supposed to be ambient light rejection technology. They should be able to survive this with no problem. Meanwhile, my cat's having an epic battle by the chair. I had to vacuum the floor, which I'm about to do today. But anyway, I wanted to show this off. Got to know what you're getting yourself into when you're buying a screen. Got to ask for those tests. Got to make sure you have a guarantee that you're getting what you paid for. Mind you, it's your time, your dime at the end of the day. You have to understand that. Your dime you can get back. Your time you're not going to get back. You have to redo that process all over again because somebody lied and their specifications. Now, the only thing I think that certified screens are guilty of is the contrast level. They can't read that. There's no way in the world they're reading 100% black. That's virtually impossible. OLED 4K demonstrations. Now see already from the door, you can see the menu is not reading. Did they give me what I asked for? Because I'm looking at something completely different. Like, what are all these? Coming up on whatchamacallit. So I sat there and said in videos, what makes a black screen extremely dangerous? A black screen that can read an insane white level. That's what makes a black screen dangerous. It's not its contrast levels because it already has that capability. These screens can also read a white level. They can't read the black level. So if it can read both, you got a problem on your hands. So now you're watching and witnessing a screen paint under the $500 mark that can literally do something that a certified gray screen can't do, and an everyday gray screen paint can't even accomplish. It can maintain its contrast, it can maintain its color, it can pick up its white levels, and it can do it at 50 lumens on a tabletop. Which, when people said that we require high-end projectors in order to make our stuff produce, be careful about that. That's a very hefty lawsuit. That'll cost you $10 million to make that statement and we catch you. Very, very hefty lawsuit. So be very careful about that one. Because I'll do this to you in court. And you're going to paint the screen whether you like it or not. I thought this would be a fantastic, I'm like, this would be a great demonstration to do. Why not? So that means my customers right now, have a product, and all our technologies are designed to take out screen innovation because that's what we designed them to do. Now, I consider screen innovation to be the top dog of any other certified screen I've seen because I've tested it and it's a very good screen. So, we have beat every screen. All our products have been tested on every type of certified screen you could possibly think of. Every single one of them had to go through a certified test, which means every screen paint we ever developed has that technology, the ability to do that. This is when we switched over to darker products and black technology, not the gray stuff. Gray stuff, yeah, we weren't even anywhere near that because we didn't even know that stuff even existed. Look at that. And you notice that the certified grays are picking up much better than this. But ours is more superior. I plan to do a promo demonstration. I got a couple forum sites got to share this with. Now, if anyone feels at the end of the day that any of the demonstrations we did here were completely false, fake, untrue, using some kind of form of, I don't know, software or whatever, sign our contract, meet us in court. That's all you got to do. Other than that, please stop crying on your YouTube channel. It's embarrassing. That's what we do. I had somebody in the forum site make a statement saying that, well, I think that, be careful, you might want to retract that sentence and get yourself in trouble with that one. He said, well, I'm not saying that per se, so they do understand what can happen to them if you say that and make that statement. Retract quick. Say our technology comes out so dark it's unwatchable. Do you have any idea how much money you will lose in a courtroom? If we drag you into a courtroom and this happens to you, do you know how bad that would be for you? Don't make that statement, trust me. And please, I can't express this enough. It's a little message from one of our cyber investigators. Please don't think at the end of the day that the fake accounts will protect you. You have to understand, look, If the FBI has, they have them. They have these cyber investigators, right? How are they able to track down people with fake accounts? Think about that one. If that was the case, that means it'd be insane. No one would be able to be tracked down because of a fake account. So apparently, these people do their job very well. So trust me, don't believe in that lie at the end of the day. It'll get you in a lot of trouble. Oh, look at that. 100% black levels. Beautiful, ain't it? This is what customers you're supposed to be getting off your screen. I'm pretty sure your projectors are much higher than my 50 lumen Maxonic, right? So that means that you should be reading this with no problem whatsoever. That 100% black, beautiful, bright colors, all that. Look at the gray screen at the bottom. Look at the, I told you, these pick up better than this. Now I get this all the time. People say, "We'll make a darker mix." It doesn't make a difference. You won't read it. Mm. Now, so we read the white letters perfectly clear. You can't read the contrast because you can read the white letters. So you can't do both. And that's the problem you're having.
Playing on iPhone? Now you can play unlocked on PC with Google Play Games. Unlock bigger screens and better controls, so you can ascend towards Asgard. Go play on PC with Google Play Games. Download now.
Well, everybody's getting to that whole streaming thing, right? Really? I click back and I gotta go to another commercial. YouTube, you're doing too much. You're doing way too much. Now, I like this demonstration. You know why? This demonstration, the background has to be 100% black. Right? Yeah, 100% black. And you have to pick up the colors at the same time without them washing out. Very important. Black background, beta fish. You should be matching that. And you're not matching that, and the reason why, because, get out of here. Your screen isn't technically black, which is important. Now, my phone has an OLED screen on it. It's going to read black. Monitor over there doesn't have one, but it still reads black. And a guy made a perfect example. He made a perfect example. He said, well, if your cell phones are black, your TV's black, everything you have in your house has a black screen on it. Why is your projection screen gray? Why? Now, for some of you don't know about black technology, so you don't know. But some of you do know about it, and these are the ones that fight it the most to say, well, you know, it's not. You downgraded your projector by a lot. Your projector now has no ability, and no, I don't care how much money you spend for your contrast. I've been to this one. I've been to contrast form sites strictly on contrast for projectors. You don't read it. You don't pick it up. You can't pick up 100% black because your projector, if that was the case, and the projector you purchased can pick up 100% black, then why would you buy a gray screen? Why don't you just buy a white screen if it can convert it just like that? See, this is why I mean at the end of the day that the logic that's given to you, you can't escape it. If that's the case, why would you go, if a projector had that type of capability to be able to turn a surface as black as a black screen because of the projector's calibration of black, why did you go out and buy a gray screen? We should just go out and buy a white screen. It's cheap and convert it just like that, right? But you can't because it doesn't work. All right, then there you go. Argument diffused. See, this is why we have these discussions in forum sites. This is the knowledge I bring forth to them, and this is the reason why they shut it down. Because it's true. If you depend on your projector to pull that contrast level for you, then why the heck would you need any of these screens? You wouldn't need any of these screens at all. You can go buy yourself a cheap white screen and hit it with that. And if you're seeing 100% black as you say, why are you doing this in the dark? Why aren't you in a fully lit environment when you do this? Oh, you can't because it'll wash your screen out, much like the ultra short throw scenario. People have ultra short throws, they sit right up on top of the screen. Now you're at a foot away at 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 lumens, 2 million, 3 million, whatever contrast you're having, there are billions of colors. Why can't you turn your lights on? Because your screen will disappear, that's why. Because the projector is producing it, but the screen can't accept it. So in their demonstrations, what they'll do is, they'll basically have you concentrate on the fish. Not the background, just the fish. So look, we're pulling the same levels. And they'll put it in the dark so they can try to match the contrast levels as close as they can. Not saying them, because they haven't tested them. This guy does that stuff. To our screen. That's why when he does demonstrations against an ambient light technology that's designed to be everywhere on top of ceilings and all, if you notice, he's always in a dark environment when he does a demonstration. They try to match his contrast levels as close as he can to the black screen. Oh, we know all your little tricks. We know all of them. Unfortunately, he'll never make it to court. As I told you before, we already filed over here in Pennsylvania. Oh, yes, we did. And that means once we get a judge to sign off on it, you'll be coming here with us. Good luck getting through that airport. So that's already been done. But anyway, moving back to this. As you can see, you're not getting what you paid for. That's why he did a lot of those demonstrations in the dark to try to fool you on those contrast levels on a high inky projector. Now, as for the certifiers at the end of the day, again, these are ambient light rejection screens. They should be able to operate in my environment with no problem whatsoever, especially with this little bit of light in here we have in here. So I can't get any complaints by somebody saying, well, you know, you have excessive lighting in the environment. This is not normal lighting. This is under normal lighting we're using right now. And you should be able to operate on a 50 lumen projector, because if I can see you here, here, and here on the 50 lumens, that means you're operating on the 50 lumens. Which comes down to this point. When people sit there and say, well, you could buy a high-end projector and say, I see my screen. Now, this wasn't here. Let's just say we take this out of the equation. Oh, I messed up my right here. Come on, be nice. Don't damage my screen. Now, we take it out of the equation. This is what you see. And you think at the end of the day, because you can still see the image, this is a win. This is an absolute not win. This is actually, this is a loss. Because you're missing the contrast. Because on the phone, here, we have a black level. All right? So if you're TV worthy, how come you're not matching the phone? So that means my cell phone is better than your screen. This is what you're receiving on the standalone. When you say, "Oh, it looks great to me. I can see it. I can see it right." No, you're on a standalone. That's what's going on right there. Oops, what did we hit? Oh, we hit our cord. Now, that's what you're supposed to be getting. That's what you're supposed to be reading. The black background's missing, and the colors are washed out. Now look at that. Watch. All right, there we go. Short and sweet. As I said, I was going to come on here short and sweet, short and sweet, short and sweet. I'm going to do a couple more of these demonstrations, by the way, on standalone, not standalones, on on shorts. We just did one on our white demonstration levels on our cell phone versus our screen. That will be a match and better challenge by today. Also, match and better challenge will also be contrast level versus cell phone. I want to see this. Come on, you guys out there talking about how your screens are worthy of the TVs. Show me something. What are we hitting over here? Oh, we're hitting our which one come over here. Sorry about that. Got this running through my PC. Let me see. There we go. Bring you back. So, got some challenges popping up. Match and better. You know how it goes. Or do we have to do the flex? Probably have to do the flex. I do the flex, I do the whole entire room. We do a flex. That'll be a flex challenge. All right. Hope you enjoyed. This is to educate our customers to show you exactly what you're not getting from your screen at the end of the day and why you're spending too much money for these high-end screens that can't give you that 100% contrast. Also, too, and debunk the rumor that individuals had started claiming that our products were so dark you can't watch them. See you in court, gentlemen, real soon, just so you know that. Man, I tell you, I feel sorry for you. I really do. And if you want our attorney to reach out to you, that's not going to happen. The reason why? Because we're getting ready for court. We ain't got time for that nonsense. We will see you in court. Mind you, we're asking for cyber charges, criminal charges, to at least carry 20-year prison sentences, just so you know. Should have known better. Don't get on your channel, whine and cry. You should know better. You know what you were doing 100% when you made these statements about my company that you know were completely false. And you know you shouldn't have made these to begin with, but you carry through anyway. And now you got to face it. So, ain't no way around those things at the end of the day. Some of you we've already filed on. Some of you will be getting to this week to file on you as soon as we possibly can so we can get you in front of a judge. And now you can go in there and explain the same thing you explained on YouTube in front of a judge. What's wrong with that? I mean, you felt confident enough to say it on social media about my company, right? Then you should be confident to say it in front of a judge and my lawyer. All right, that being said, hope you enjoyed. Thank you all for your time. Remember, customer, when you go out and buy, make sure you want batch number verifications on all products. You want to make sure you get what you want. You want to guarantee. That's very important. Also, too, make sure the product was tested. These guys are tested. We know that from the door. These are tested. This one's not. Make sure a product is tested before it's sold. And also, too, which I haven't seen with these yet, or none of these either, make sure that product's not going to match something you can slide off a shelf at Home Depot or Lowe's. If that's the case, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. I mean, you're going to be sent there with a screen in your living room that you literally could have went to Home Depot and did it for far, far less. All right, got to go. Thank you for your time, and God bless. Of course, we thank our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for blessing us with amazing technology. When for Him, none of this would ever be possible. I got to go. Thank you for your time. Seek God and be blessed.